I've had many low points. So
right.
the beatings of, don't forget, the beatings of my father started when I was a teenager.
That is true.
Seeing him in prison, seeing his head broken, the blood on him, going to school. In school was a very depressing time for me because you had the teachers that liked him and the teachers that didn't like him. So if I go and enter the trouble of a teacher that didn't like him, that teacher would just beat me for that he didn't like my father. Why are you beating me? If I don't even understand the subject, maybe you come and teach me it well. Now, why are you beating me? So I knew it was, later they had a vendetta against my father. Then you had the children, because don't forget, the schools, the elite children were in the school. So you had the rich children in the same school, and they didn't like me because I was Fela's son. They would say, your father is smoking igbo, your father is pant. And myself, I would say, your father too is a slave. My mouth, I will abuse you. My mouth was very like a razor blade. If you abuse my father, by the time I abuse you, you will cry. So I can't tell you the things I will say. So obviously, we're ending on the football field fighting. So I was fighting. I was fighting most of my time in school. And at this stage now, I think I'm doing quite well because my first son is doing so well.
Yes.
He's amazing. And when I see the love of my other children, and I adopted some others, when I see them, that brings so much peace in my life. So you see, I think maybe if I didn't go through those moments, I probably would not know what to do in my life. So I've experienced death. The passing of my mother was so bad. I think the passing of my mother was probably the worst time. Because when my mother was like my pillar, and when she died, it was just like I was lost. I was lost till probably 3-4 years ago. I would still wake up wanting to go and say good morning to her.
Wow.
Because every morning I wake up, the first person I wanted to see was my mother, my mama. And then when she just passed, was, and I didn't cry because everybody said, you are the man, you are the man, you are the man. You must hold on. Fela had just gone, my sister had gone, my cousin had gone. Some people are predicting 12 of us will die. And I was saying, is this prediction going to come through? Then we had our internal family problems, and you are the first son, you must handle it. I said, why you born inside this wahala like this? So it was really, then my wife goes, and then they said, Femi is going mad, and yes, it was a terrible moment too. But you see, I'm thankful I overcame it. I think it's what has made me a better person. It was what has made me being able to analyze a lot of things I've analyzed for you today. Probably if that did not happen, I'll not be able to sit back, reflect and say, but why? Why?
I sense a deep pride in your son. Like, when you look at, do you think, you obviously think you did very well, because essentially you're a single father. I
know I did very well. I'm not, you see, I don't boast. I speak facts. Where I'm wrong, I will tell you I'm wrong. So I know I did very well.
Why do you think you did very well?
Because when I was bringing him up, he was all that mattered. I'd lost my mother, my wife had left, and he was my joy. He was my love. He was my everything. Fela had gone. Nothing. The only thing I had to hold on to was him. Then he reminded me so much of my youth and as a child. So people think that because we were Fela's children, it was so nice and everything was. If I give you that story, people will not even believe. So I just said, okay, where did Fela go wrong? Or where do I think Fela went wrong with my life? And I'm going to do all where I think he went wrong, correct it with my son, and where he was right, I will emphasize it, and bring him up to understand that I'm still not a perfect father. So you see, I will never tell you I'm perfect, because my children believe I'm very perfect. I make no mistakes. I say, come, a time will come in your life, even where you think I've not made mistakes. Emphasize to make it better, because God will give you that knowledge that, okay, Father, that did this. Okay, if Father did this, I can do this. So when he was growing up, we spent 6 years in the shrine, because this place was they were sending thugs and police were raiding. So the only way to stop that was to move into shrine. So I built upstairs. If you see upstairs, I put all my adopted children and my son. And then somebody comes to tell me that, what if they kill your son? So I thought it was like, is this a political message that, because I was very political at that time. Social media wasn't as it was today. So people will raid, police will raid, and nobody will talk. The press were really against me for whatever reasons they had against me. And so I had all I had was my son and my elder sister and her daughter. Yeah. But my son was the closest because he's my son. So I molded him. I now said to give him all the opportunities I didn't have. Musically, everything. And so everybody thought I was bringing him up and he was a, what they call this thing, spoiled child.
Right.
Even my Europeans and Americans felt, because he would just do things and say, you are spoiling him, you are spoiling him. Yeah. I said, no, all I'm doing is, he's like a flower. Yeah. I'm giving him sunlight, watering him, blah, blah, blah.
Thank you for joining our YouTube channel. I hope you loved that video and you connected with it. Don't forget, please subscribe, please like, please share with your friends and family. Please comment. We love to see your comments, and to see the full versions, join our community right now, or past episodes on watch.withchude.com. Let's be human together.